Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us today for our first digital newsletter. We thought it would be an innovative way to get an update directly from all the CEOs and just do it live, do it digital. So thanks for joining us. I'm Deborah Honig, and we have Victoria and Tina from Adelaide Capital as well. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hey. I didn't actually pick International Women's Day to do this, by the way. It just sort of happened that way. So I figure we'll start with things that we did in February and also the first half of March. We had the Atlantic Conference 2 weeks ago, which was pretty good success. I think we had 190 people live and 9 companies present in a keynote. So that was really interesting. We continue to think that's an emerging area that deserves a lot of attention in Canada. Vic hosted a crypto day earlier in the month in February. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Vic?
Yeah, so we hosted our first crypto day earlier in February. If you want to see the replays, they're all live on our YouTube channel. We had 4 companies present. There were about 450 people that had registered for it. And there was an interesting keynote at the beginning too from Stéphane Ouellette from FRNT Financial and Pamela Draper from Cateno Payments, basically just talking about, what's going on in the crypto space. Obviously, it's a pretty fluid sector and there's new news in it every other day. So just trying to get everyone, up to speed over the last 6 months of what's really been driving the sector. So yeah, definitely check that out.
We also had our Silver Week, which was a lot of fun. We did our first Silver Week back, I believe, in June last year. So we thought it was a timely time to do it again. And yeah, we had a bunch of companies do hour-long webinars, and we also did our first battle, which was, I believe, 9 companies competed for a spot in Silver Week. Did 3-minute pitches, and we're going to do another one of those on the 25th. Is it, Tina?
Yeah, more battery metal focused, but it'll be interesting to see a little bit more variety. I think we spent a lot of time on the precious metals space, so I'm looking forward to hearing some pitches from lithium companies, graphite companies. I think there's a cobalt company signed up as well, so a little bit more variety there.
Yeah, and any issuers that are interested in participating, definitely reach out. We're still looking for some more contestants. I'd like to see some nickel there too. And what else do we have? We have the Sas Conference coming.
Yeah, so we're just securing or finalizing the lineup for that. The save the date should be coming out later today, but it's going to be March 31st, I think in the afternoon, 12:30 until 4. And we plan on having, 6 small cap companies, all SaaS business models. We've confirmed 4 of them, but I'll wait till we release them all. So definitely stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Like you said, we've done a lot in precious metals and just mining in general. So we are looking for other themes and other ideas. So feel free to reach out if you have any good ones. We are going to stick with doing more mining though. And I think we've got another thematic mini session coming up that we're planning for the 1st or 2nd week of April, which will be Idaho focused.
And yeah, and I know we have Butch Otter has been secured as the keynote. He's the former governor of Idaho and on a couple of the boards of some Idaho mining companies. Ben Davenport as well, who is with the Idaho Mining Association. So excited to have both of them. We've secured a couple of issuers as well, including our very own Excellon. So excited to have them present and give us an update.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. And we're talking about doing some sort of Central America and Caribbean focused event after that, but it'll probably be closer to mid or late April. And one other thing that's changing with Adelaide Capital is we continue to grow on the social media side, and we are looking for more social media clients. So if you know any public companies or companies going public that need help with their social media, feel free to reach out. And yeah, let's start with some updates on companies. Vic, I think you've got a couple updates on some companies you've been working with.
Yeah, so I'm just going to start really quick on Bonterra. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Bonterra, so they're a late-stage exploration company in northeastern Quebec in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt. They're in one of the busiest camps in Quebec. And so what's new with them? So they've basically been underway on this 63,000 meter drill campaign throughout the year. So they are almost through that now. There's been a bit of a backlog in terms of getting, assays out. They've added a third shift to their assay lab. So there should be a lot of news coming out from them shortly. They also released a press release this morning, just saying that they're 2/3 through their permitting process of their bachelor mill. And so if you're not familiar with this, this is the only mill that's in the region within 110 kilometers. So it's really interesting for them. They're 2/3 through the permitting process. This is pretty time consuming in the area in general. And so it could lead to a hub and spoke model with, different issuers kind of down the road, as well as help advance their own development of their asset. And then, last week we did a webinar with Pascal. So if you do want a more fulsome update, you can check back on our YouTube channel to view that. And the company's also at PDAC this week. So you can stop in their booth and chat with them if you'd like. They also have a core shack set up for Gladiator, which is one of their most prolific high-grade assets. And so there's a bunch of geologists on standby to walk you through that asset as well. So that's kind of what's going on with them. Oh, and actually also interestingly, their camp has started getting vaccinated for COVID. And I believe Pascal's been vaccinated as well. So that's kind of the update there. And then the second issuer I just wanted to mention really quickly is Healthspace. So Healthspace is a new company that I'm working with. They basically offer a cloud-based and mobile platform to governments to help them streamline their processes and how they interact with the public that they regulate. And so stay tuned for more on this one. Their platform has essentially been built originally for environmental health. However, it's pretty customizable and configurable. And so they've started ramping up in other government departments as well. And I mean, there's tons of growth there, tons of press releases coming. If you have interest, they're launching a new website as well as a new investor deck later this week. So check that out. And I think that's basically it for my two names.
Okay, great. And I see Akiba's joined us, CEO of Mako Mining. Akiba, thanks.
Hi, Akiba.
Thanks for joining the inaugural digital newsletter.
I know. My pleasure to be here.
I hear that you just got a vaccination.
First shot on Saturday. Actually, this is the first time I'm in our operating offices in Tucson, Arizona for a year. I think it's been about 12 and a half months since I've been down here. So things are starting to get normal again. But I'll get my second shot on the 27th and then wait a couple weeks and I'm good to go.
That's great. You want to give us an update on what's going on with Mako?
Sure. This is an exciting week for us. Right. So we were in the last stages of finishing off our tailings management facility, our tailings conveyance component to it. So that is basically functionally complete. We still have to get the company rep down to site to give it the good kosher go, and then we can go and actually start producing at the full run rate. So over the course of this week, in fact, we started last week, we're slowly ramping up to 500 tons per day. And then by the end of the month, we're going to be processing gold in a nearly commercial fashion.
Great, exciting times. And I understand that Caesar's with you.
Yeah, we have the entire team down here. So Caesar's over here. We have our COO in the other room. So yeah, full Mako team. And Sailfish.
Hey guys, this is the first time you two have been together, I think, in about a year.
Yeah, we haven't.
Yeah, and actually we were wearing our masks.
They can't breathe on me.
Now, you guys have asked us to break protocol. We're now with no masks talking to you guys. So
that's okay. We won't tell anyone. Caesar, do you want to give us an update on what's going on at Sailfish?
Absolutely. So there are two main catalysts on the horizon. Number one is what Akiba's been focused on, which is getting San Albino up and running and getting cash flow from that. Very exciting time for Sailfish. As you know, we've been buying back shares with our excess cash. When San Albino turns on, we're going to start looking into paying a dividend as well. So that's number one. Number two is the SpinCo. We participated in Silver Week with you guys because we have a silver property in Mexico and Durango. And we are finalizing a PEA, 43101, which will be updated and will allow us to finally spin that asset out. So that's coming your way for all our shareholders who've been waiting for that.
That's great. And I think you have a name for the company.
Yes, we've decided to capture all the billfish species. So we've had a marlin, we have a sailfish, and we're going to have a swordfish next.
Perfect. I like the aquatic theme. Well, that's great. That's a great update. Anything else you want to add?
No, just thanks to all the shareholders who have been picking away.
Yeah, it's an interesting time for silver, so I think it's really timely. And talking about silver, we actually have Brendan Cahill, CEO of Excellon. Hey, Brendan.
Hey, Deb, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I feel like we're having a background off right now. Oh, Kiva just beat me.
You're outnumbered right now.
These are my kids.
Where is your background, Brendan?
So this is our Silver City project in Saxony, Germany. It's one of the areas we drilled last year. I'm trying to remember which one exactly, but yeah, I mean, that's one of the highlights of February, coming out with another discovery on our Silver City project. And, just for, background, it's an area that was mined for 800 years. We're doing the first drilling on this project really ever for precious metals. The best, we've had 16 holes on the project so far, half a meter at over a kilo silver equivalent. And then the results we announced in February, 1.3 meters at over a kilo silver equivalent. And, beautiful high grade epithermal silver mineralization, 950 grams silver, half a gram gold, some good base metal values in there as well. So Silver City, this year it's all about the drilling, where we got programs going at Platosa, at Silver City, maybe something at Evolucion, prepping for drilling on our Kilgore project in Idaho, as we'll talk about next month, and Oakley, another project in Idaho that we're going to be drilling in early April as well. So it's pretty exciting. And high grade, we've got the kilo per ton hits at Silver City. At Platosa, famous highest grade silver mine in Mexico, we've got 4 or 5 rigs going there right now. I have trouble keeping track, but some good results out this in February. 4.2 meters at 1,100 silver equivalent, 8.9 meters at 1,400 silver equivalent. So just constant drilling throughout the year, focused on high grade, focused on making discoveries, focused on resource growth, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Great time to be doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I hope you have some news out on your Idaho project sometime for the Idaho session that we're planning.
I'll work on it. Well, we should be drilling in Oakley kind of early Q2, and then with Kilgore, we're working through the permitting process for the environmental assessment right now. Should be more like mid-year once we kind of can talk about what we're going to do there this year.
Great. Well, that's a pretty good update, and congrats on the discoveries in Silver City. It's exciting.
More to come. So right now we're just permitting the drill program for 2021. 16 holes, 3,500 meters or so in 2020. It's going to be a much more expansive program this year because now we know where to go. We know where to follow up on, and we've drilled over 12 plus kilometers of strike. We've hit on almost every single hole. So, there's a huge epithermal silver system there. And now it's about, getting some widths. We know the grade is there, and then looking towards tonnage this year.
Awesome. Well, look forward to more results, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon. And then switching gears a little bit, we have Cameron Groom from Microbix, who is not a mining company, but is a good friend of the firm. And we've worked with Microbix for 3.5 years now, I believe.
That's correct. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Tina and Victoria. Good to be here.
So what are you mining for?
Well, we're doing quite a bit of work, as you know, with supporting public health response for COVID and assisting diagnostic companies to make certain their tests are accurate, with the province for the availability of viral transport medium, which is another project we've been making. So we've been really quite busy continuing our transformation from solely a diagnostic test ingredients maker to producing our own innovative proprietary and branded products. And you saw recently with our Q1 financial results with the product category of our controls, such as you see in my background, that we were up 3,600% year over year in sales of that product category. So, so that's some pretty significant growth, and we're aiming to keep on that track as we increase the number of countries that our products are available in, the number of distributors in our network, and as well our diagnostic OEM relationships and our number of SKUs as well, as we increase the breadth of our registered product offerings. So busy times at Microbix, and our numbers are starting to reflect those with good overall growth in sales, as well as growth in the product category, and achieving profitability, which is a nice thing to do and kind of rare for a life science company.
Definitely, and you just had a record quarter. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
We did indeed. We came in with revenues of 3.15 million for Q1, and a modest profit associated with that. Good margins. We're happy with our production of our antigen ingredients business. We're seeing very good traction with our CAPS controls business, test controls business, and we're seeing the start of production in the current quarter of our viral transport medium arm. So 3 revenue generating elements of the business, each that we're driving up towards $1 million a month rate. So we're aiming to exit this year at a sales per month rate that'll be about triple the pre-COVID era for us.
Well, that's phenomenal progress this year at the company, over the last year, I should say.
Well, thanks. A lot of hard work by a lot of people, and even in things like ensuring supply chain integrity during COVID is an interesting challenge in and of itself. And I'm very pleased that we've not missed any shipments to customers as a result of COVID, and that's some fine disciplined work across our organization.
Well, congratulations! It's been quite a year.
That it has.
And thanks for participating in the first newsletter.
You're very welcome. Take care. Take care, everybody.
I think that makes a nice segue to a company that Tina's been working with, who also benefited from what happened over the past year with the pandemic, which is iFabric. Do you want to give a bit of an update?
Sure. Yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy couple months for iFabric. They have a number of technologies, chemical treatment solutions for fabrics, including water repellent, UV protection, and antibacterial, now antiviral technologies. So COVID really accelerated their revenue growth because they've been third-party tested to show that they can kill COVID within 10 minutes with 99.9% efficacy. So it's driven a lot of the revenues from they had some major sales to China. They've had purchase orders from Under Armour. If you see those sports masks, iFabric, their technology is in those sports masks. We've seen a couple quarters of acceleration on their business, particularly last quarter, they did 7.5 million revenue. The previous quarter, they did 3.6 million. So that's a huge jump. And on a year over year basis, they did 2.6 million in the same quarter last year. So massive increase to revenue. They're seeing increasing net income as well. And a lot of this has led to them doing a financing. They announced a financing last month, which was oversubscribed. So they closed on 11.5 million from both retail and a few institutions came in. So that will really help accelerate their growth, I think, in the near term. They're working with a number of major partners in the retail space. And I think having this cash on the balance sheet will really help kind of solidify their conversations that they're having with these major brand partners.
Awesome. That's quite the update for iFabric.
Yeah, it was a busy couple months.
I know you have another update for us, but I see Joe Hamilton, CEO of Unigold, is here to compete for the best virtual background.
Hi, Joe.
Oh, you got to unmute, Joe.
Hi. Thanks, Deborah. Thanks, Tina.
How are you doing?
Victoria. I'm great, thank you. Yeah, I thought I'd just bring up the virtual background. I'll even look behind me to pretend it's there, but that's a picture of Candalones Hill, which is our the project that we're doing a PFS on at this point in time. Nice rolling topography in the tropics. It's always a good place to visit.
Great. Well, why don't you give us an update on what's going on at Canelones?
Yeah, well, Unigold, this month I think is really should be transformative for the company. We've got 3 things going on that all should come to fruition towards the end of this month. The first one is the pre-feasibility study on Canelones, which I think will be able to show that the oxide portion of the deposit, which drapes over top of the hill that you can see in the background, is a nice low-hanging fruit for the company, a low capital, low environmental footprint. Should produce about somewhere around 90 to 100,000 ounces over a 3 to 4 year period. A small project, but the bigger win, of course, is the underlying sulfide deposit, and we're doing a new resource estimate on that sulfide deposit this month as well. So we expect to have that out towards the end of March or early April. That'll include all of our drilling up to 2020, at the end of 2020. But that, the last resource estimate we did was 2013. So there's about another 35 to 40,000 meters of drilling, most of it high grade, between 5 and 7 grams of gold per ton as well. So I expect that we'll see both an increase in tonnage and grade, as well as moving a fair amount of that material into measured and indicated. So the 2 million ounces that we had in 2013, I think you'll see that expand towards the end of the month, certainly over the course of the next 6 weeks. So those 2 things, I think, will be really transformative for the company. But then the other thing we're doing as well is we've now started to look at some of the other regional exploration targets that we've got and started to drill those. And I think we'll probably have more to say about those in the 3rd quarter of this year after we get, another 5 to 10,000 meters of drilling into them. So all of those things, hopefully will drive us, even in the face of a declining gold price, should continue to show people that we're adding value to the projects that we have.
And you're still waiting on a number of drill results?
We still got drill results coming. Strangely, we've been continuously drilling since August last year, but in January and February this year, we received no drill results from the lab, which was, very frustrating. We finally started to get them. They're coming in batches. We put out a press release last week, which showed, an extension. It was probably the deepest hole we had drilled at one of our epithermal targets. It extended it about 100 meters deeper, but it was the grade which was really surprising. It was over 21 grams of gold per ton in that intercept over a 7-meter width, which was a very consistent mineralization as well. But it was 100 meters deeper than we had encountered any mineralization previously. So it really pulled that specific vein down by about 30 or 40% deeper. We've got 2 more drills that are underway to pull that even deeper, and it doesn't look like anything is, let's say, getting weaker with depth. If anything, it's getting stronger with depth. So that's very encouraging. We've got 4 drills turning, so I'm sure, hopefully, we'll have a steady stream of drill results over the course of the next 6 months.
What'd you do to the assay labs to piss them off so much, Joe?
Well, it's not us. Trust me,
I don't think you're alone.
We're not alone. The assay labs, even though it is frustrating, I understand that they've got COVID protocols in place. They can't have as many people working. It's difficult to move equipment when it's, half a meter apart. And they used to have technicians standing half a meter apart. Now they can't do that any longer. So, they're doing the best they can. But I think, I'd like to say they should step up their capacity. We've made that message known, I suppose is the way to describe it. And we'll continue to pressure them. But, there's a long lineup of people waiting for results as well. But I think once they start coming in, they should come in on a regular basis. And hopefully we'll be able to release them on a regular basis.
That's great. Looking forward to the next round, and definitely looking forward to the feasibility study out.
I think that'll be critical. I think that'll show people the value to the work that we've been doing over the course of the last year and a half. And hopefully show people that, the sulfide project comes for free considering our market capitalization. This project, I think, will show an NPV much higher than our market cap with a very low capital expenditure required to get it into production.
Well, the stock's cheap on the current resource, so it's going to be even cheaper on the updated resource.
Precisely.
Well, thanks, Joe.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for going last. Unigold, always towards the bottom of the alphabetical list.
And I'll try to update the background as well for the next time around.
Sounds good. Thanks. And Tina, I think you had one more update for us.
Yeah, I was going to give a quick update on Medexus, who also had a pretty crazy last couple months in a good way. They announced a licensing deal for a chemotherapy drug called treosulfan for the United States. That's a major deal, transformative for the company. The competitor right now is doing 126 million US or at peak sales, and they weren't even approved for that indication. So a lot of those sales were being made off-label. Medexus is working towards a PDUFA date in August and could potentially launch that drug with 7-year exclusivity before the end of the year. So that'll be a major transaction for the company. And they're already selling the drug in Canada via the Special Access Program. Princess Margaret is using their drug, and they're using treosulfan instead of the current market-leading product, which is busulfan. So I think it's pretty low risk, and I have a lot of confidence in them being able to get it to market. They also released their Q3 revenue numbers a couple of weeks ago, 31.5 million revenue, which is a record quarter for the company, and 5.1 million adjusted EBITDA, which includes, they had a bit of a net loss, which was more of a reflection of the increase in share price, which increased the fair value of their derivatives pretty significantly. So other than that, they did announce a financing in the quarter, which was well oversubscribed. They originally went out to do 20 million. They closed on 32.5 million because of the huge demand. So that'll help fund some payments to their licensing partner for treosulfan and help fund the growth as well. And lastly, Gleolan, they have a drug that's in Canada right now. It's being used for glioblastoma. It's a blue light detection drug, and that is being put to commercial scale now. There's doctors who are using it already, so they've had some really great acceptance for the drug already, and I think that's pretty much the update. It's a lot to digest in a couple minutes, but it was a really busy quarter for the company, and the last month has definitely been really busy.
Well, it sounds like you know how to pick stocks, Tina.
I try.
I think that's it for the company updates. As a reminder, we have a number of upcoming events, which include the Sas Conference on the 31st, our Idaho Day, which I'm not sure if it's the 7th or the 8th yet. Tina, did we decide?
Yeah, I think we have the 8th confirmed.
Okay, so the afternoon of the 8th. And then we have a number of, single company webinars coming. We have our battery metals pitch contest on the 25th, which is actually supporting a charity that Tina's involved in. Do you want to give a little spiel on your charity, Tina?
Sure, yeah. I'm working on a fundraiser for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society of Canada. So it's a 10-week initiative that starts March 25th. So the battery metals will be part of the launch date. Really just looking to raise funds for patient support, education, and research for the LLSC. I think a lot of fundraising and a lot of government funding has gone to help COVID initiatives, which is great and obviously well needed, but that's come at the sacrifice of a lot of research programs and leukemia-related treatments and cancer treatments in general. So I think it's an important charity to be supporting at a time like this.
That's great. So yeah, we'll be posting about ways that you can donate to support Tina. And yeah, the battery metals pitch contest should go towards that as well, should help you out. And then what else am I missing? I guess we have 3 companies going public over the next little while, which are Kingfisher, which is going public this week, Bald Eagle Gold, that'll be going public in the next couple of weeks, and then Sierra Madre, which I believe will be towards the end of the month. Vic, what am I missing?
I was just going to say too, if you don't follow us yet on our social media, make sure to give us a follow, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter. We're active on Instagram, just so you can keep up with, everything that we're talking about here, but there really is so much more that we're not talking about in terms of just one-off webinars and stuff that we have going on. So that's usually just the best way to keep track of everything.
That's a good point. And we are trying to cut down on the amount of emails that we're spamming our network with. So we are trying to keep it to one email a week with the webinars for the week. So if you want to get more information or be updated on things that may change that week, just make sure you're following us on social media because we'll post all the updates there. I think that's it, right? Well,
I think so.
Yeah.
wasn't as bad as I expected. And I think it's the first time the three of us have ever been on camera together.
I know, we should do this again sometime.
Maybe next month. Anyway, thanks for all the issuers that presented today, and thanks for everyone watching. Appreciate the support.